Okay, so the thing is that if I move the lens, it tends to move everything out of focus. So the stuff that's close is focused, but anything that's far is not focused. So I see that I'm having trouble getting my face to focus. Okay. So if I end up releasing this specific video because I feel like the content is necessary but my face is blurred, I apologize. But the thing is that this is like my 7th test today, and it's not because the focus isn't working, it's because I'm trying to figure out the camera. So I understand that it's inconvenient to be watching my blurred face while I talk. I want to talk about problems that mental illness can cause in relationships. Okay, I'm going to make this quite long, like not this particular video, but I'm going to make this section quite long in many videos, because for me, borderline personality disorder and bipolar are quite similar, and if they coexist together, then you'll see a lot of, say, mood shifting and a lot of rage and a lot of passionate, extreme emotion all the time. And there'll also be lots of drama, lots of fighting, lots of conflict over perceived threat. A lot of the time it's perceived threat in my perspective from being on the outside. Two things though that I want to mention is when you're the person who can see that something's not right and you've been doing a lot of research and you can kind of tick the boxes of the symptoms and the criteria, go to a psychiatrist, because you can't make the other person get help, right? I know lots of people that I would actually say, in my spirit, and having studied psychology, I would say to them, go and see a therapist, and can I go with you? And can I say, this is what I see? And I would say, in that perspective, be honest and say, okay, this is the flaws that I have, because I have my own insecurities, and I do struggle to take criticism if I think it's unjust and if I think it's brought out harshly toward me, right? But then I think, is it a boss? Yes, so the boss is allowed to talk to me like that. But is it a friend? No, so I can tell my friend, use tact. Is it a parent? Okay, I can take on the parent and I can say, look, this and this and this, we can speak to each other like adults, like people. You can kind of rationalize criticism and things like that. I'm talking about specific things that are sensitive to me, right? And so also, if I'm accused of cheating and it's not in my character, then I'm going to take huge offense. If I'm accused of talking about somebody behind their back in a negative way and I haven't done that and it's out of my character, I'm going to take offense, right? And so if that seems like a perceived threat from the BPD or the person with bipolar, then I'm going to feel, because remember, they're people with a disorder, it's not who they are, it's not their identity, then I'm going to feel, if I'm their friend and they're having an insecure moment, I'm going to feel frustrated, because I'm going to feel like you're projecting and it's unfair. And if I have an opportunity to say to you, it is unfair, this isn't okay, then it's one thing. But if you're not aware that you're doing this, or you're not even ready to go and see a therapist so that you can face it, then I'm going to put down a boundary. And certain things I'm going to say, you cannot treat me like this, so I will not go out clubbing with you, so I will not do this, I will not do that, because I will not have you talk to me like this. So that's the other thing, is that you teach people how to treat you. And so as much as mental illness is not my fault or their fault, because it's usually a trauma that happens in the brain, and sometimes verbal abuse and physical abuse is taught, right? And so it does, in my opinion, verbal abuse and physical abuse, it's something where the victim who's been through it has to get to a point where they decide they will not treat others that way. So if they know they get angry and they normally attack with words, they've got to learn not to. Or they would normally smack, they've got to learn not to. right? Maybe even going to the gym to get rid of that physical energy, because that's what it is, it's energy. It's actually anxiety from something that happened when you were younger. And when you're young, you maybe dealt with it in a different way by crying or manipulating or throwing a tantrum. But when you're an adult, you cannot behave a certain way. So you would need to use another strategy to get rid of that energy, because that's what it is. It's anxiety, which is energy that needs an outlet. So I wouldn't say ignore the energy. Don't bottle the energy. Get rid of it in a healthy way that doesn't hurt other people. Okay? But you also, being somebody with mental illness and being somebody without mental illness, you teach people how to treat you. So what that means is that you're not, if you feel like this is creating disturbance in your life, you can choose to say you can go this far and that's it. So these certain things I'm not going to do with you. I did have a friend that I would eventually say, I'm not going out clubbing with you anymore. I didn't really love clubbing. I enjoyed spending time with the person. But then I found out information on how they actually saw me in certain situations that I took offense to. And so I decided, you know what, back then I did a cold turkey kind of boundary where we had no contact, and then I realized that was me just being angry and kind of saying, you hurt me, so I'm blocking you out. Whereas now I probably would have said, look, let's talk about this. This is actually how I see the situation. This is why I don't like what you did. I don't want to part anymore, but if you're willing to go for coffee or breakfast every now and then, that's how we can hang out. But I don't want to spend time with you in this environment because it brings out this, and I'm tired of it now. Being older, realizing I can actually react like that and not be an all or nothing kind of person. But on the other side, with the chemical imbalance in the brain, or with personality disturbance, what happens is that the person is born normal, like everybody else. And it's almost like all the wire connections in the brain that make you normal functioning, that give you a healthy personality and a healthy way of adjusting to emotions and developing trust, as a child should develop trust with a primary caregiver, and then develop and take initiative and confidence and all these things that happens as a child and in preschool. When that is disturbed, when that development is disturbed, like they want to take initiative and the parent keeps saying no, no, and creates this anxiety and this fear to try anything, and then you're also now afraid to say why, because the parent says stop asking why, it's not good to ask why, it's a bit cheeky, it's really, it's the way that it's done as well, mostly it's the way that it's done, because it creates shock, and so the child feels like they can't say, why can't I touch the fire? Or then you touch the fire and they say, I told you so, and then you feel even more stupid, but you're little, so you can't process that information. What happens is that trauma of repeatedly trying to take initiative, which is normal on the part of a little kid, because that's part of development. I think 2-year-olds are supposed to be going through that phase. I think it's 2-year-olds. What happens is the chemicals, the wires in the brain break, explode, detach. And that can never be like fixed up again. So how I understand it, and it was explained to me this way, and this is why I think it's super effective,